Hi, I'm Noah Myers, and today I will be talking to you about the best NBA programs in the Bay Area based on the following schools: University of San Francisco State University, and University of California, Berkeley. So for University of San Francisco, they're a Jesuit school that's been around since the late 1800s. They've always been focused on humanitarian aspects, but lately and more intricately, they focus on business aspects much more now. So with the downtown area of San Francisco really booming in the tech industry, many companies like Twitter, Facebook often come to the school and offer kids internships. Sometimes they're paid, sometimes they're not, but this really lets kids get their foot in the door for the business and really allows their career to grow and gain contacts, which is really helpful in the business world. For University of California, Berkeley, they're one of the highest rated NBA programs in the nation, which is reflected in their costs. So you can, if you're out of state, you spend 80 grand in total cost of attendance. And for in-state, it's 50 grand for total cost of attendance. So I wanted to see if their program matched others in the area and if it was really worth the cost. So for San Francisco State University, they're really focused on humanitarian aspects more than anything else. Their business school isn't very high rated, but they're definitely one of the cheapest, which is a good thing. But the problem with San Francisco State is they're very far away from downtown, which does not allow for internship opportunities, which is really important for kids to get their foot in the door in the business world. So to analyze which NBA program is the best, I use the following 4 criteria points: total cost of attendance, location, school culture, and resources and services. So for total cost of attendance, I analyzed the total cost of attendance for each school. This took into account tuition, services, resources, transportations, etc., anything that would go into your attendance cost. So the lowest total cost of attendance would win that criteria point. For location, I analyzed which school was closest to downtown. Whoever was closest to downtown would win that criteria point. For school culture, I analyzed the amount of fraternities and sororities that were hosted by each school. The lowest amount of fraternities and sororities would win that criteria point. For services and resources, I looked at each school's website to see how many links were provided on the services and resources page. So whoever had the most resources and services links would win that criteria point. So again, for total cost of attendance, the school with the least total cost of attendance would win that criteria point. For location, the school with the school that was closest to downtown would win that criteria point. And for school culture, the school with the least amount of fraternities and sororities would win that criteria point. For resources and services, the school with the most amount of links on their resources and services page would win that criteria point. So for total cost of attendance, San Francisco State would win that criteria point because they would have the lowest cost of attendance. For location, University of San Francisco would win that criteria point because they were closest to downtown. And for school culture, the least amount of fraternities and sororities would go to University of San Francisco. I chose this because I felt like if you have the least amount of fraternities and sororities, the school would be more focused academically and thus more focused on your career versus your social life. For resources and services, the school with the most links was University of California, Berkeley. Even though most of these schools were pretty level, I felt like if you had the most resources and services, you would be helping your student more to succeed everywhere in their life, academically, in their career, or personally in their life. So the total cost of attendance graph can be seen at the beginning of page 4. The location map can be seen at the beginning of page 5. The school culture graph about the fraternities and sororities can be seen at the middle of page 6. The resources and services graphs can be seen at the end of page 7. So again, for total cost of attendance, San Francisco State won that criteria point because they had the least total cost of attendance. For location, University of San Francisco won that criteria point because it was closest to downtown. For school culture, University of San Francisco also won that criteria point because they had the least number of fraternities and sororities. And for services and resources, University of California, Berkeley won that criteria point because they had the greatest number of services and resources. So my final recommendation was for University of San Francisco, because they were the closest to downtown, and this would allow for internship opportunities, which gets your foot in the door for business, which is very important. University of California, Berkeley is obviously a great program. They have great professors, but it is very expensive. It can be 80 grand if you're out of state for total in cost of tuition and attendance. So it really depends on how you view that, if it's really worth the money. And in my opinion, it was not worth the money. I really feel like University of San Francisco gives you the best opportunity to move forward in your business career more than any other school. San Francisco State University, obviously it is the cheapest, but it is the farthest away from downtown and really has a humanitarian culture, which is reflected in their curriculum. There's not too many business classes, and it's just not the place where you want to further your career. Thank you, Professor, for listening to this presentation. I hope to hear from you soon.